Welcome to another edition of the Showbox Sires series on the introduction of new bulls for the Showbox Sires program. Today, we're excited to introduce our second bull with our partners, the Semex Alliance, and we're quite excited to introduce to you 744 HO 00201 Heath, a tattoo son out of the world famous Doc Have Not 8784. Today, we have several guests to talk about the pedigree and where the bull comes from, to introduce this bull to the world. My partner in Showbox, Mike Duckett, who dealt with the cow and has worked with both sides of this pedigree. Paul Trapp, the sire analyst from Semex that we work with extensively with our Showbox program, and has been in this business for many years and has a great wealth of knowledge of the pedigrees and the cows in Heath pedigree. So as we kick off our discussion of Heath today, Mike, welcome to the podcast. I know this bull has a special place in your heart because Duckett Holsteins, you and Julie have worked with both sides of the pedigree. Tell us a little about where this bull comes from.
Having both Treasure and Doc in one pedigree's a pretty cool thing. The mating of Tattoo and Doc, I think it's a pretty logical, common sense mating of the longevity and the tremendous udders of Treasure and the milk and the genetics that Doc passed along, cows that got better as they got older. And we look forward to seeing how these bulls breed.
Just mention a few of the high-end show cows that fill this bull's pedigree.
Well, on the top side with Treasure, obviously not too many bulls come from a reserve All-American dam in Tokyo, cow that's made daughters, that's been nominated in as heifers and milking form. And then Treasure, a cow that we calved in every year, brought her back. She just kept, she was sixth, then she was third, and then eventually as a 150,000 pound cow, she won Madison. Then on the bottom side with Doc, it goes right back to Della. And
you bet. And I think the other day, Mike, you and I traced there's 3 different connections to Della through this pedigree, which is pretty unique. Well, Paul Trapp, we're thrilled to welcome you to our podcast. I think this is the first one you've done for the Showbox Sires series. Paul's been a great friend of mine and Mike's for years through many different roles. Paul is a great sire analyst that's been responsible for a lot of great bulls. He leads the team at Semex now for sire acquisition, has judged all the big shows all over the world, and certainly a pleasure to welcome you to this podcast, Paul. Tell us a little bit about what you think about the second Showbox bull to be released at Semex.
And the only word I could come up with to try and describe Doc 8784 was a unicorn. In this industry, we strive to have tremendous show cows, or we strive to have females that can breed on. And it's very rare in our industry to find an individual that can combine those 2 attributes. Doc is one of those cows in the Holstein breed that I think can be one of those unicorn type of cows. You look into her pedigree, you go back to her 9th, 10th jam, and Della, and that's a cow family I've worked for generations and generations. Della herself was a tremendous dairy cow, maybe ahead of her time with her tremendous udder. And Doc, how many generations later, is a spitting image of that cow. They're both feisty as well. Maybe the modern day productive life term comes through in their pedigree of both of those cows with Doc and with Della. You look at Doc's offspring, she's got 80 registered. And so far, she's got 1 excellent daughter, 8 very good, and I think almost all of those got sons heading to AI, and 3 good plus daughters, and none scored lower. So she's off to a great track record to start with. So this is a cow family. Whoever's touched it has had success. They've thrived in multiple environments, and not only in the U.S., but around the globe. I affectionately call Doc 8784 a unicorn.
Certainly a cow that can do it all, and I think we're so excited to combine Tattoo with her for sure. We hope you as listeners enjoy learning about our bulls, not from a piece of paper, but from the people that have lived this business and lived the cows and developed what has made this great. Truly great bulls come along very seldom. But bulls that do become great are used that can influence herds, and we really believe that's what Showbox Sires is about.